Hello, my name is Blake T. Wild. You may also know me as Smokey's Videos, and today I am talking about one of my favorite Marvel Comics series because I'm a maniac who likes to see beloved characters suffer horribly. And Marvel Zombies is returning to Disney Plus at some point, and from the images revealed at D23 or whatever convention that was, we're going to be getting a look at the aftermath of the outbreak as survivors attempt to rebuild their society and make it their own. And also a new evil undead Avengers team, which almost perfectly matches up with this book. So make sure you check out the video I did on the first volume of Marvel Zombies by some sort of box that's going to be popping up on the video or in the description probably. But before we get started, Destructo Boy, a 5-issue limited series that I am self-publishing. The first 3 issues are on sale now for $9.99. And each issue includes a free sketch of any character of your choosing. Spider-Man, Batman, Wonder Woman, Supergirl, friggin' whoever you want me to draw, I will draw and include in however many copies you purchase. If you buy all 3 issues, you're getting 3 drawings if you want. And I will include them into each book, I'll sign it, and I will ship it out to you directly. Check it out, really helps me out. It is a fun sci-fi, zany series, fit for any age. Get it for kids who love little robots, get it for people who love sci-fi, get it for people who love independent comics, or comics in general. So get yours while they're still available. Etsy, Blake T. Wild. Released in 2007, written by Robert Kirkman with art by Sean Phillips. This is Marvel Zombies 2. The book begins 40 years after the first Marvel Zombies, at the edge of the universe. Spider-Man, Giant Man, Luke Cage, Hulk, Wolverine, Gladiator from the Shi'ar Empire, Thanos, Fire-Lord, Jean Grey aka the Phoenix, and half of Iron Man realize what they just did. They have eaten the entire universe. Thanos says they wouldn't be in this situation if Hulk wasn't eating twice as much as the others. Hulk tells Prune Chin to shut up and then smashes Thanos' head and pushes him off into space. Gladiator, in starvation, eats a bit of Thanos and immediately vomits it out. As Iron Man pats him on the back and holds his mohawk out of his face, Giant Man says there's nothing left for them to hear, and they need to leave. Wolverine says that they've been everywhere, and the creature that was once Hank Pym tells him he wasn't planning on going anywhere else in this universe. You see, he vaguely remembers a machine created by Reed Richards to traverse into other dimensions, and Reed Richards used it to escape this universe for another one, which happened in Ultimate Fantastic Four. Maybe one day I'll cover that one. Then they begin their trek back to Earth. In the back of the group, Luke Cage asks Spider-Man if he's okay because he hasn't been making his annoying quips, and Spidey tells Luke that he might be imagining this, but he doesn't feel like he needs to eat anymore. He's sort of starting to feel fine not eating. Like the pain of the hunger that plagues them is seeming to fade. Cut to Earth. A young black boy journeys through the ruins of New York when he hears a shout from below him. A voice cries out, asking if anyone is there. The boy begins pulling rocks and debris out of this hole until he finds the decapitated head of Hawkeye. Hawkeye pleads with the boy to help him. The boy says that his grandfather told him all about Hawkeye's kind, and that Miss Wasp is the only one that he should trust. Hawkeye promises not to bite him. He just wants to talk to someone after being decapitated by Magneto 40 years ago. So the boy picks him up like a soccer ball and carries him home to New Wakanda. Inside the royal throne room, T'Challa rests upon his throne as former X-Men Forge declares that the Acolytes are a serious threat to the community. T'Challa says that they don't have a large enough gene pool to reestablish humanity, and that banishing the Acolytes will only make matters worse. Then T'Challa reminds Forge that he was elected to lead everyone, not just those who agreed with him. Forge chastises him for allowing power-mad children to form a cult of Magneto and threaten their existence. T'Challa says that he won't be there forever. And then Janet Van Dyne walks in alongside lead scientist Reynolds and Kashamba, T'Challa's grandson. Wasp tells them that something has proved that her recovery from the hunger wasn't just a one-off fluke. And Kashamba presents Hawkeye, who asks if he knew any of these people before. Meanwhile, somewhere in deep space, the zombies get distracted and are feasting on Ego the Living Planet. Sometime later, back on Earth, Hawkeye gets Wasp's old female body. It's a good thing you're not in Tennessee, Hawkeye. Or, that Tennessee also is no longer in existence. And Reynolds says Hawkeye is not all there and that he wants to keep him under observation for a couple of weeks. Elsewhere in New Wakanda, Malcolm Cortez, son of Fabian Cortez, one of Magneto's acolytes on asteroid M from the first Marvel Zombies, holds a speech before a legion of his own acolytes. Fabian Cortez, my father, was a great man, a man with vision. He would often speak to me of the vast world that lay around us. Untouched and unspoiled, he believed in the potential of this society. My father believed we could reestablish our dominance over this planet. I believe we can start to live instead of trying to survive. I've lost faith in our warrior king. He who has never fought in a war. All I see is an old man who lives in fear as his mind slowly rots away. I call for new leadership.
Who dares this treasonous act? This is... Keep talking, old man.
There's only one way to stop this. The taste. It was the only way I had. The taste, so good. It hurts the pain, the hunger.
Leave my wife alone. If you have to eat someone, help me eat him.
You're the boss.
And that's how you do it. After they devour the assassin, T'Challa has that post-hunger clarity and laments what he just did. Wasp says he'll get over it, and it wasn't that bad since the guy was an assassin. Then Wasp says they need to lock themselves into the detention center and undergo a few weeks of detox.
So, are we there yet?
That is it. How many times have I told you to cut that out? It's not funny. No.
Lordy, talk about not able to take a joke.
I'll kill you. And calm down. Hulk not bothered by puny Parker. And Hulk angriest of all. Fine. Just keep your mouth shut and stay the hell away from me. I was sick of you 20 years ago. How you survived this long while Colonel America is dead will never make sense to me.
I'm right here with you on that one, pal. After all we've done, I don't think any of us deserve to be here.
Just stay out of my way.
So as you can see, things are going pretty well for the zombies. Speaking of zombies, Kashamba sits outside the detention cell and asks T'Challa why he's been confined. T'Challa tells his grandson that he is sick, so he and Miss Wasp have to stay in here for a little while. And he makes Kashamba promise never to open the door, no matter what. And Wasp tells him that that door is locked completely, and that he needs to stop talking to Kashamba because it's taking away his focus, and he isn't actively ignoring the hunger. Elsewhere, Malcolm tells Forge that his father and T'Challa vied for leadership for years, but he accepts that the people chose Black Panther to lead them. But times change. And Malcolm had a lot of followers before T'Challa turned into a flesh-eating monster. Then it's revealed that Forge's daughter and T'Challa's son got married. And Malcolm tells Forge that it's time to start being practical instead of holding on to long-ago friendships. Back in space, Spidey asks Luke if they're sure they even know where they're going. Luke says not to worry since Iron Man, probably has some kind of navigation in his suit. Then he asks Spider-Man why he is still making those jokes after all this time. And Spidey says,
It's my shtick. When I started out, the jokes were just a way to hide my insecurities. If Doc Ock or the Green Goblin knew how worried I was when I was fighting him, it's a useful tool.
But Pete, there ain't exactly been a lot of villains we're facing over the last few decades. But the jokes still come.
It's different now. Now I tell the jokes to keep my mind off of all the horrible things we've done. I'm tricking myself into thinking I'm still okay. I've changed. I know we've all changed. But I have to maintain that even though I can't control myself, what we are doing is wrong. If we lose sight of that, all we are monsters.
Later on Earth, T'Challa and the Wasp get over their hunger. Wasp tells Forge it's safe to release them now, but Forge explains that Cortez has taken over the colony, and that he's desperately trying to appease Malcolm into not executing Wasp and Black Panther. She asks why everyone is ignoring that Cortez was the one who ordered the assassination. Then Forge tells her that, unless she can think of a way to convince Cortez to, arrest himself, there's very little that they can do right now. And as Forge leads the asteroid, Malcolm greets him and says that come tomorrow morning, the threat of the zombie plague will be eradicated forever. And Forge ponders how he'll ever look his grandson in the eyes again. Later that night, T'Challa and the Wasp sit around in the cell, discussing what it feels like to be a zombie, when the door is opened by Reynolds, Forge, and Hawkeye. They make their way out of Asteroid M, and Reynolds says that the three of them need to get out of the colony immediately. They'll send a signal when Cortez has been dealt with. Reynolds tells Janet to be careful, and Forge says that he'll look after Kashamba and Hendrix. And as the sun rises in the distant horizon, Cortez appears with his soldiers, and Kashamba and Hendrix held hostage. He forces Kashamba to look at his grandfather, and shouts out, awakening the entire colony to come out of their homes and see their monstrous former leader. Is this what you want from a leader? Is that who you want to keep you safe? I stand before you now, saying that he is not fit to... What is everyone looking at?
That would be us. I gotta say, when we decided to come back to Earth, this was the last thing we expected to find. How is it we missed you before? How did you survive? As you can see, some of us are just like you, no longer human. I assume you're not here to chat, but if you plan on attacking us, I beg you to reconsider. I've known all of you before. I know that you are good people.
You don't have to be a slave to the hunger.
Janet, my dear, I'm so happy you're still around. But the hunger is unstoppable. I know. Over the years, that's haunted my every thought, driven my every move. Enough talk! Hulk wants to eat now! Hulk hungry! Hulk starving! We have to go. Get to Asteroid M, it's all we got. No, stop this, Hulk! There's not enough for us to do this. Only a handful. We've got to be smart this time. We could turn this place into a breeding camp. Control ourselves. Only eat a few at a time. Savor it. We wouldn't run out of food. We'll dine on human flesh forever.
No! Listen to yourself, what you're saying. Have you lost your mind? I've been traveling space for 40 years, eating and killing everything in sight, only to learn I'd be coming back to Earth. The one place I can't forget. We were heroes! We can't do this! I won't let you!
Colonel America would be proud. Someone kill this little twit!
Wolverine lunges at Spidey, but he's clocked by Luke Cage. Luke exclaims that Spider-Man is right, as Wasp helps evacuate humans into the Asteroid M. Reynolds transmits his voice through Hawkeye's body, and T'Challa asks if he can get the asteroid back into orbit. Yes, they can fly up there, but the zombies can fly too, so they would be eating them in space instead of just down on Earth. Then he instructs T'Challa to steer the fight closer to the edge of the settlement. T'Challa, Wasp, and Hawkeye then work on pushing the others back. Iron Man blasts off her right arm, and Hulk transforms back into Banner. And Gladiator beats T'Challa off of him. Then a giant force field erupts around the asteroid, cutting off the zombies completely. T'Challa realizes that Gladiator and Banner are still inside. Oh, and Luke Cage got cut in half. Gladiator claims everything inside the force field to himself and plans on eating until he bursts. T'Challa lunges forward, but Gladiator plows his fist straight through his chest. Outside the bubble, Giant Man discovers that his foot was severed, and Iron Man inspects the force field. Spider-Man and Wasp then fight Gladiator, and Gladiator nearly bisects Spider-Man. Wasp fires energy blasts at him, and Luke Cage leaps on his back and fires some cosmic energy directly into his face. Meanwhile, the evil zombie Avengers unload on the force field. Luke Cage's power cosmic blast was enough, and Gladiator knocks him off. Then someone wearing a Mark I Iron Man suit slams Gladiator on the ground and starts just beating the shit out of him. Spidey and Luke unleash their power cosmic as the Iron Man holds him in place. And outside, Iron Man's like,
Hey, that guy stole my armor. What the hell is that?
Gladiator's head explodes, and Luke and Spidey joke around. The man in the Iron Man suit picks up Janet as Iron Man bangs on the force bubble, demanding to know how he built it, and who the son of a bitch is that's stealing his ideas. And Forge removes his helmet. He smirks as he tells Iron Man that Stark International isn't exactly locked up anymore, and he had 40 years to improve on Tony's designs. He also tells them to just give up on the force field, and Giant Man agrees. This is not what they came back to Earth for. And then they fly away. Later at the Baxter Building, the zombie Avengers arrive and fan out to look for the Dimensional Gateway. And they're attacked by Herbie robots. Giant Man wonders who the hell was around to turn those on. At the Asteroid M infirmary, everyone recovers as Reynolds and Forge wonder what the hell they do about Banner. Forge suggests they just keep him continually drugged and unconscious instead of just killing him for some reason. I guess he might have thought that if they can keep him not being hungry anymore, then they can use his, he's a scientist, he's a genius gamma scientist guy. He can probably, if he became normal again, can create some sort of power source maybe? I don't know. Maybe that's why he doesn't want to kill him. Then Cortez and his band of merry V-men come inside. As the leader of the colony, he wants to be informed on what's happening. And Malcolm says that working with the zombies is an accident waiting to happen. And Forge shouts that they've already risked their lives for the colony. Clearly, if they wanted to attack, they'd do it by now. Sometime later, Reynolds reattaches Janet and repairs her body. He says that when he saw what happened to her today, he was so scared for her. And then they kiss. Later, Forge finishes installing Luke's new legs. Luke asks how they did it, and Forge tells him that they stayed in orbit for about 5 years and have been on the surface ever since. And Luke says,
You've been living life. I miss life. I miss smells, food. I miss a lot of things.
Kashamba and Hendrix then appear, and Kashamba says that he's not scared anymore. Then he asks his grandfather if he's really dead, and T'Challa, in classic grandpa fashion, says,
Do I sound dead to you?
You look dead.
Looks can be deceiving.
Then Kashamba says that if he dies, he doesn't want to stay dead like his mom or dad. He wants to come back like his grandpa. T'Challa brushes that conversation away and asks Spidey and Luke for any pertinent information regarding the rest of their former group, specifically why they all came back.
There's a device here. Something Reed developed before all this started. It's the thing that the FF used to travel to another dimension. Why are you smiling?
Follow me. I'd like to show you something.
And in the Baxter Building, the zombies realize that if Forge could get into Stark International, he'd also have unlimited access to anywhere and everywhere. In Asteroid M, Forge shows everyone the stolen dimensional gateway. He says he figured the zombies might come back for it, which is why he brought it here, and so that New Wakanda could use it to get to another dimension. Unfortunately, he has just been unable to get it working. Spidey freaks out because he brought it here, and nothing will stop the zombies until they get it. T'Challa says they haven't the strength or the numbers to fend the zombies off, and Reynolds says that he has something that might help. He walks everyone into his lab, explaining that years ago on an expedition they discovered part of a still-functioning brain. He was studying it when an opportunity presented itself, and then he opens a chamber to reveal T'Challa's dead son, T'Challa, dressed as Colonel America. T'Challa leaps at Reynolds but is knocked away by the shield. Then Colonel America, T'Challa, pulls down his mask and starts shouting typical Captain America catchphrases like Avengers Assemble or Hit 'em hard, hit 'em fast. So clearly the catchphrase part of the brain survived that fight with Red Skull 40 years ago. As they fight, Reynolds says that it's only his son's body. T'Challa was brain dead, and they used his body to put Colonel America's mind in. Spidey and Luke break up the fight, and Forge reveals that he was also in on the experiment. So T'Challa clocks him. Then he realizes he just beat an elderly mortal man who was also his friend, and apologizes. Forge says it's fine, and begins concocting a plan.
Okay, people, it's here. Our ticket off this world into a dimension rich with food is within our grasp. Tony, Hank, we are here with an offer. If you agree not to waste time eating what's left of the human race, we will turn over the dimensional gateway. You can get a world full of humans. Why bother wasting time with us? Do we have a deal? Okay. Deal. Reynolds, they've agreed. Drop the force field. Now, Reynolds, get the field back up! A double cross. Why? So we can kill you first. All parts of the plan, Giant Man. Was that part of your plan?
Don't worry, boys. I'll save you some scraps.
What? Ignore him, there's too much at stake.
As the new, all different post-apocalypse team of new Avengers face off against the evil zombie Avengers, Iron Man hovers his way through the halls of Asteroid M. I know they have the power cosmic, which is why they sort of fly and float in everywhere. They don't really need to walk around that much anymore. But the imagery of these 3 or 4 panels showing a horrifying zombie Iron Man just sort of hunched over and slowly hovering through these dark hallways is just so off-putting and eerie. It's the creepiest part of the book. Anyway, he turns the corner and finds an army led by Colonel America and Forge.
I'm sick of this useless fighting.
T'Challa, Hank, you monster.
Oh, Janet, how I missed you over the decades. Luckily, I got used to the feeling. Eat arrow, fascist. Ah, fuck. No. Janet, oh God.
You should have kept me sedated. Don't misunderstand me.
I don't enjoy this. I'm not like the others. I hate this.
But the hunger, I can feel it. It brings out the Hulk. If I just eat you, it'll calm me down. I have to do this.
Please, just be careful with the console. Just don't.
Oh no.
The force field. Go and feast. If they got no one left to protect, this fight is over. Can you hear anything? Are they still fighting? Who wants to go first? Which one of you is ready to die? All in one place. How convenient. Oh, it's been so long. I'm gonna savor this. What is it? What's wrong? The hunger. It's gone.
Giant Man orders the zombies to stand down and says that he needs to think. The humans all escape out of the detention cell. Sans the guy that Wolverine won't let go of. And Giant Man says that he has finally had the chance to stop and just think for once. And he's finally realized that they don't need to eat. All that time flying back to Earth in the depths of space was their detox. Then Iron Man and the others show up and say that he's right. Wolverine drops that guy, and Iron Man asks what they do now. Giant Man tells them that they need to help these people rebuild. They need to be heroes again. Luke Cage punches him in his big dumb face, and Giant Man says their hunger is gone. Janet is right. And then he asks for a truce. Cortez tells him to fuck off because they nearly killed all life in the universe and says that they need to pay for their crimes. Giant Man says the memory of everything they did is punishment enough. And Cortez and Forge get into an argument about what to do when...
Hulk hungry! Hulk starving!
Hulk, we're cured. We no longer have the hunger. If you just wait.
Hulk might want to wait. Hulk want hunger to go away!
Don't worry, Hulk. This will be quick.
Ah! Hulk hates Fire Woman! You make Hulk angry too!
Don't make us kill you!
Giant Man can get bigger than Hulk, but not stronger than Hulk!
Keep him off balance! Move in now!
You said it, Firelord. Why, Hulk's friends keep him from eating! Hulk just wants left alone!
Stop! Janet is gone. I've nothing to live for. If you have to eat someone, eat me.
Reynolds, no! Oh, dear God.
What did I... Oh, you have to kill me. I can't control him. It's the only way.
We know. What do we do now? Something we haven't in a very long time. We're going to help these people rebuild. We're going to give them their lives back.
Sometime later, Giant Man uses a giant shovel to clear the debris of their fight. Did he make that? I guess he probably still has some Pym particles sitting around, maybe in his belt or somewhere on Earth. I'm sure his lab still has them. Maybe Forge stole them all. Oh, and Forge uncovered Janet's head. 3 weeks after that, the surviving members of the Avengers stand before the graves of all those they lost. And later, Hank goes to Janet and apologizes for everything he did to her, and for what happened to Reynolds. Then they head to a meeting between the zombies and Cortez. Everyone wonders where Forge is, but Malcolm begins the meeting. Giant Man says,
"So we've been working on the dimensional portal device to send humanity to another dimension. It was actually surprisingly easy to repair."
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? You see, years ago, when we discovered the device, I stole some key components to ensure that no one ever left. I don't want to know what life was like before. This life is perfect. And now, I'm getting rid of an outside threat. Oh, and T'Challa, I killed your son, and I ordered your assassination, and I plan on killing your grandson as well.
No! What did you do? Where did you send them?
It doesn't matter, Forge. It's not our problem.
We need to bring them back! They can help us!
They are gone for good. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you thought of this episode in the comments below. What do you think about Marvel Zombies? Like I said earlier, I absolutely love it. I think I have read all the Marvel Zombies series, except for like the one they did during Secret Wars in 2015, the Battle World one. I don't think I've read all of that. I feel like it's only a couple issues. But yeah, I have read pretty much all the main Marvel Zombies and the spin-offs. I've even read the Marvel Zombies Christmas Carol one, which is just so weird. It's just Christmas Carol with zombies. I don't understand why they put... Well, I do understand why they put the Marvel Zombies logo on there. It's to get people like me who love Marvel Zombies to buy it, even though it has pretty much nothing to do with Marvel Zombies. I don't really think that Marvel Zombies 2 is as good as Marvel Zombies 1. It's very entertaining. Both of them I find just very entertaining. This quick sort of ending and cliffhanger is alright. Sort of in Marvel Zombies 3, it becomes a little sad to see what happens to these people, because Marvel Zombies 3 pretty much undoes everything that, like, all the character progression that happens in this book. They just go back to being regular evil zombies like in the first one again for some reason. But it is very enjoyable to see some redemption, at least, particularly in Spider-Man. But anyway, let me know what you thought of it in the comments. But yeah, again, let me know what you thought. Do you want to see more Marvel Zombies books covered? Marvel Zombies 3, whatever the spin-offs were. I definitely want to do the Army of Darkness Marvel Zombies one with Ash from The Evil Dead, because I love that one. I think that's probably my favorite Marvel Zombies story. It's a prequel to the first Marvel Zombies as well. So, you know, I'm working towards a whole Marvel Zombies universe here with all my videos. And of course, Destructo Boy. If I can get it right. Issues 1 through 3. The first 2 issues here are the era of Alpha Cardinal. It sees our little robot hero Destructo Boy fight off against the evil, villainous Alpha Cardinal, who is trying to conquer the giant space station Zephyrus. At all costs, he is a maniacal man, if he is a man at all. And the Eclipse of Googleplex. Issues 3 and 4 will cover this story. The Eclipse of Googleplex sees a rival scientist create this giant robot named Googleplex to dethrone Destructo Boy from his place as top superhero of Zephyrus Colonial Space Station. Check him out, etsy.com/shop/BlakeTWild. Link in the description, link in the video. Really helps me out, and I really appreciate it. I love getting the suggestions on the sketches to include on here. They're very fun to do, because it's usually characters that I don't have any interest in drawing, really. But I really enjoy it, and everybody else enjoys it that has read it. Check out the reviews if you're hesitant. I believe it's all worth it. So I will see you next time with another exciting episode of What Is. Bye.